get ready to be informed, engaged, and entertained as IPJ the podcast takes you on a roller coaster ride through the dark undercurrents of our world. Welcome to the revolution of unmasked truth, brought to you by the brilliant mind and unwavering passion of IPJ's Matthew Gonzalez. Now, here's Matthew.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of IPJ the podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Gonzalez, and boy, do we have one to get into for you. Los Banos City Councilwoman Deborah Lewis has allegedly been facing a concerning issue with her emails. It appears that she has not been receiving or responding to messages from her constituents, leading many to believe that she intentionally is ignoring them. However, upon further investigation, it was discovered that her emails were being blocked and redirected to a spam folder, already set up by the IT department of Los Banos City. But the plot thickens, as it was also revealed that the spam folder was programmed to automatically delete her emails after 10 days. This revelation is truly alarming. A duly elected councilwoman entrusted with representing the citizens of Los Banos has seemingly been targeted in an effort to undermine her and create the perception that she does not care about her constituents. Some may dismiss this as a mere technical glitch. But, my friends, that would be a mistake. Interestingly enough, this is not the first time such shenanigans have occurred with this particular IT company. It begs the question, why would they engage in such behavior? Who is responsible for this act? And what immediate actions are being taken to rectify the situation? These are the crucial inquiries that must be directed towards your city's council members. They must be held accountable for their choice of hiring a company that allegedly intentionally withholds emails from elected officials, ensuring that these communications remain confidential and only accessible to the intended recipients. Now, you may wonder whether these actions are illegal. The state of California has clear laws regarding computer hacking and accessing someone else's emails without authorization. Manipulating settings and causing unwanted actions can indeed lead to misdemeanor or felony charges, depending on various factors. In light of these disturbing revelations, we at IPJ the Podcast and the EJFA Network strongly encourage Councilwoman Deborah Lewis to explore potential legal remedies against the IT company, the individual responsible for implementing these changes, and any other individuals involved. It is crucial to hold them accountable for their actions and ensure that such breaches of trust do not go unpunished. Now, moving on to BWK. Look at this graphic. BWK Consulting, LLC, a company that closed nearly 20 years ago, has somehow been entrusted with managing the City of Los Banos' general funds. The owner of this defunct company, Brent W. Kuhn of Corona, California, was specifically sought out by city officials. The question arises, why? How is it possible for this company to have an agreement or contract with your city when he lacks a legitimate business license? In my opinion, it appears that this individual is running a scam and misappropriating taxpayers' money. Shockingly, his last paycheck amounted to $26,000 for just 1 month of work. Does this make sense? At this rate, he would earn a staggering $312,000. Yet, has anyone seen his resume? Has his company been verified? Has he himself been paying business tax? Does he have workers' compensation as a company? Or liability insurance? While I was employed as a city employee for the City of Los Angeles, they meticulously verified every detail of my background. In fact, they were on the verge of terminating my employment after discovering my prior felonies that I had withheld from the 1980s. Fortunately, I had letters from the alleged victims stating that I had done nothing wrong. The city contacted them, verified the statements, and decided to retain me. But it appears that no one at the City of Los Banos has conducted any due diligence to ensure that this individual, Brent Kuhn, lacks any criminal history or a track record of financial mismanagement, among other concerns. The absence of such due diligence raises questions about whether the city council, your government, is aware of his potential integrity issues. In a city plagued by corruption, Los Banos City, California, he is precisely the type of person who thrives. So, how can you, the citizens of Los Banos, California, put an end to this? So let's get into his agenda staff report here. Okay, so here is the City of Los Banos agenda staff report. This is to the Mayor Yanez and City Council members. It is from Josh Pinhead Pinero, the wannabe city manager who stole 1.8 of your taxpayer dollars, in my opinion. The subject is professional services agreement for interim financial director services. So the report is the consent agenda. So here we go. Recommendation that the City Council approve a resolution authorizing the city manager, that's Josh the Pinhead Pinero, to sign a professional services agreement with Brent Kuhn to provide the city with interim finance director services. Discussion. In July of 2022, the city reached out to Brent Kuhn, who is very qualified, notice the very, and familiar with the city finance department, and previously provided the city with various financial consulting services. As a result, Mr. Kuhn was retained and has been providing interim finance director services to the city since July of 2022. Under the current agreement, Mr. Kuhn's LLC, that is BWK LLC, the parties, which is defunct, it's like I said, it's been out of business for quite a number of years. It's not registered. He's actually illegally doing business in the state of California, and he needs to be, held accountable for that. Moving on. Under the current agreement with Mr. Kuhn's LLC, like we spoke of, the parties contemplated that the city would need Mr. Kuhn to be available 20 to 25 hours per week and available to attend city council meetings on an as-needed basis at an hourly rate of $150 plus expenses such as travel and lodging. So as we understand, Mr. Kuhn is from where? Why would he need lodging and everything else? Because he's from the Newport Beach area. So he's not even from this area at all, from Los Banos area, the Central Valley, or anything like that. So for whatever reason, there's not somebody there in Los Banos who Los Banos could pay to reasonably and effectively handle the city's finances. Are you telling me that that's the case, Los Banos, and you're letting your city council do this to you? I mean, imagine if you could just pay one person half of that salary in Los Banos to manage the city's finances. That taxpayer dollar stays in your city. It's paying for housing for this person. It's paying for food, their gas. Tax dollars are coming back into your city from that salary. Why would you pay somebody in a completely different city, 300 miles away, to handle your city's finances and then pay him an exorbitant amount to continue to do that? The city manager, that's Josh the Pinhead Pinero, has recognized that due to the existing workload in the finance department and throughout the city, which he has no clue about, it is in the best interest of the city to expand the scope of services and hours of availability of Mr. Kuhn. As a result, the city manager, that's Josh the Pinhead Pinero, is recommending that the city enter into a revised professional services agreement with Mr. Kuhn. Okay. So the city basically is on paper, proof smack dab right there, that they hired a gentleman who has been running an illegal enterprise, an illegal business. So has he been paying business taxes to the state of California? He is signed under an agreement as BWK LLC with the City of Los Banos. They've stated it right here in Josh the Pinhead Pinero's own agenda staff report that he has submitted for the next board meeting. So before we go any further, I want to point out something else about this consent agenda memo, whatever it may be. However the legal term is. But if you take a look here, it basically says that Mr. Kuhn will provide an increased number of hours to 40 hours per week. Professional services in excess of 40 hours shall require approval by the city manager. And you know, Josh the Pinhead Pinero, who's never ran a thing in his life, is going to just approve it because he doesn't know or understand anything that a director of finances would be explaining to him. And the proposed services agreement also provides that Mr. Kuhn will be present at Los Banos City Hall in person a minimum of 9 days per month. Instead of the current hourly rate of $150 per hour plus expenses, the proposed professional services agreement provides for an hourly rate of $165 per hour, including travel time, payable bi-monthly or monthly. The hourly fee is inclusive of all actual travel expenses, air, auto, meals, lodging expenses, and other out-of-pocket expenses incurred by Mr. Kuhn, which shall be the responsibility of Mr. Kuhn. Well, if he's making $26,400 per month, yeah, he can afford some travel. And now and then at the end he puts, contrasted with the monthly salary and benefits payable to a top step finance director at $31,293 per month cost to the city. Okay, contrast it. Who is this person you're contrasting? I would like their name and to see their salary. That's what you, the people, need to be asking. Because look at this now. These are actually salary ranges for a finance director. Let's say in the city of Los Angeles. Okay, there's no $300 and some odd $312,000 to be paid to a finance director of a city. And Los Banos is not one of the larger cities either. So why is this guy raking in $312,000 of your tax dollars? Because Josh the Pinhead Pinero, who's never ran anything in his life, doesn't understand the value of the taxpayers' dollars of Los Banos, California. You need to get down there and you need to start throwing some people out of office. So remember, folks, it is your voice. And it's so very important for you and I to get out there and use it.